Well, I've attended to a few more items on this rather rare 650 Bonneville today. I've got the new flexible rubber brake hoses on now, and everything's connected up and fresh fluid in there. I also cleaned out the pot of the master cylinder, fresh brake fluid of course, new brake pads, they're in there. I've drained the oil completely out of the frame and also from the crankcase, and given it a full engine oil change. Checked and cleaned the strainer in the crankcase, in the scavenge pickup filter if you like, and that was spotlessly clean, so that's good news. It's always nice to see that. So it's had fresh engine oil. I've topped the gearbox oil up, although that looked quite clean, it looked quite low actually. You can look in through the filler inspection plug near the kickstart, but there is actually a dedicated level plug underneath, so I removed that and put oil in, additional oil, until it started coming out of there. Primary case had an oil change yesterday. I've taken the tank off and shaken it around with some fuel in and tipped it out and poured it back in and shaken it and whatever, filtered the fuel and so on several times. And I also attended to an issue with the fuel taps, where although this one's okay, this one has a filter on it and picks up from the bottom of the tank because it's the reserve tap. The one around this side had a little sort of standpipe on it, which someone at some time had cut off, and also the filter gauze was missing, so that tap was picking up straight off the bottom of the tank with no filter. So I fitted one that's got the standpipe and a filter gauze on it, so if there's any doubts about any more muck in the tank or whatever, the tank can be kept quite full and the engine can be run on this one, and it'll pick up fuel from sort of no lower than about where my finger is. But I don't think that'll be an issue because I've given it a good rinse out. I've also taken the fuel feed banjos off the carburetors and checked the little gauze filters in those, and they're okay. So the next thing to do, I suppose, while I wait for a switch cluster to come so that I get the indicators working again. I can't really ride it like this, I don't want to, it's tipping it down with rain out there now. I'm going to put the camera down and let's see if I can make some noise and demonstrate hopefully that it's running pretty well. Just put the camera down there. Notice I'm well wrapped up today, it's not as warm anymore as it has been. Going headlong into winter again now. Right. Here I go again, annoying some people with how I tickle the fuel. Had the choke on, it didn't want it. obviously the oil light is off. Now the ignition timing is spot on. I strobed that. I think the carburetion's got to be pretty good as well. Twin carbs, 2 sets of points. We're ticking over at, let's have a look. Whisker over 1000 RPM according to that clock. I'll switch the ignition key off and I'll switch it straight back on, and we'll keep an eye on the oil warning light. Off, back on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I think it must have stuck, perhaps, was it? We've got electric. Perhaps the oil pressure switch is stuck. Oh no, wow, look at that. It just came on then. Well, I've never, perhaps it must have been a bit sticky. I doubt whether an engine would hold its oil pressure for that long, but that's either very, very good or a little sticky. So let's just give it a kick now. I'd say that's running pretty nicely. So I shall wait for switch cluster to arrive, get that fitted, and then I think we're possibly getting close to being able to take a ride and see how it goes. But it certainly seems to be running nicely, so that's a good start.